Okay, good morning. We're actually in downtown Orlando. I'm actually coming from you from Green and Yellow Magazine. My name is Sean Slack. It is my pleasure to introduce, we are sitting with Phil Rollins, the president of Orlando City Soccer, and Flavio Augusto Silva, who's also the owner of Orlando City. Gentlemen, good morning. I appreciate your time.
Good morning.
First, I want to point out that I actually lived in Rio for a little while, and I actually have a tattoo of flamingo on there, which I know as growing up.
You will have to show. The second time you are talking about this tattoo, you will have to show to everybody.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of games from Caracas Stadium, and it's been very exciting, so we definitely appreciate your time. Although we've had a few setbacks in the Florida House of Representatives as far as the stadium is concerned, you had mentioned there's a plan B as far as what we're going to do to move forward. Can you kind of talk a little bit about where we're at with the stadium and what kind of time frames we're looking at as far as getting the MLS and get everything started with Orlando City?
Okay, so we did receive a setback in Tallahassee when when we asked for the tax rebate, we didn't get it. We didn't get it for the house. We said sure, but we've come back from that and we've reassessed our opportunity. We've looked at what our options are, and we believe we're a very viable option and a very straightforward option of building the stadium in two phases. We can build a quality stadium today and then go back to the legislature again for the tax rebate money maybe in a year or 2 years from now to complete phase 2 of the stadium. So we know that's a very achievable plan. With the support of the county and the city governments, we can get that done. With their support to a funding plan, we can get the MLS to commit and bring the franchise in.
Excuse me, as we know, we are in a very critical time. We decided not to wait to the next year because we could do that. We decided not to wait because we don't want to wait to the next year and watch Miami play in the MLS.
Exactly. We've seen enough of Miami yesterday, so that's okay.
Yeah.
And it's interesting you bring up that because I know that you mentioned one of the things for drawing you here is been the huge Brazilian tourism impact that's here in Orlando. And it's kind of curious that one of the holdups was working with the hotel tax, working with tourism, when Brazilians are really the ones that are paying that tax. I mean, we obviously just landed roughly 57 million passengers that have come last year to Orlando, 4 million of which are actually Brazilian, and as you know, they spend more than anybody else. My business, Mark International, actually brings in these tourists to places like Sports Authority and Macy's, so I know from personal experience what the wave is. So that being said, you talked a little bit about your marketing initiative and how popular soccer is obviously in Brazil. Will that be one of your strategies going forward, is really marketing to those tour operators and agencies in Brazil to go ahead and fill the stadium? Because I'm sure once they find out that you're an owner, you're from Brazil, that they're really going to want to be a part of that.
Yeah, we believe we are going to fill the stadium with local people.
Yes.
But we understand that Brazil represents a great opportunity for us to marketing because, Brazil loves, the Brazilians love Orlando and love soccer.
Right.
So the opportunity of coming here to Orlando and watching a good soccer game in a great stadium, a modern and safe stadium is a great opportunity.
United States soccer is really growing. Over the last 20 years, for the women's side and the men's side, we're about to hopefully qualify for their 7th World Cup in a row. I'm sure you saw on TV a couple of weeks ago in Seattle the huge crowd, and you had the nice crowd last Tuesday in Salt Lake City. Don't you feel that really helps you moving forward for people here to see that? Because we're only looking for a 20,000 seat stadium, and the rabid fans that come to World Cup qualifiers want to see international friendlies, things of that nature, which I'm sure that's part of your selling point. Don't you really think the momentum that's going on, because the Confederations Cup is right now, the World Cup is next year, all this attention with ESPN, with NBC, with the contract, the timing is just perfect. Don't you agree? I mean, as far as where we're at.
Yeah, it's just for this reason we believe that we're gonna make this happen. Even we're gonna count on the support from the county and from the city. We believe in that.
Sure. Yes. A couple quick questions more. Obviously, there's some protests going on in Brazil right now because of the different financial situations down there. Whether it be the politics or the corruption and things of that nature that they're wanting to talk about. But they've obviously expanded into different areas too. Like there was a protest last week in Miami. There's going to be one in, I believe, Boston next week. And there's even going to be one here with our friends at Camila's Restaurant, I guess, tomorrow. These kind of protests, obviously they're trying to get things better in Brazil, but do you think that has any kind of a negative impact or any kind of an impact on what you're trying to do with soccer?
I believe that it's very important for people to express their frustration or express what they want to change. So I've given, even in Brazil, I believe that we are living in Brazil a historical moment.
Sure.
The young people from 18 to 24 years old, they are making history in Brazil right now, and we are watching this because these people, in Brazil we have no more than 5% of unemployment rate. It's pretty low.
Right.
But it's not about economy. It's about it's enough. People don't want more corruption in the politicians.
Sure.
So I believe that when people express their feelings, it's good. It's not bad. Even because soccer is something that brings many happiness for people.
Yeah.
So I don't connect soccer and the protests.
Sure.
Pretty different.
Your history with Stoke City, obviously in England, and then your history being around Brazil and being with Flamengo, obviously that really helps you. Can you talk a little bit about how your experience in football in England and your experience in Brazil is kind of guiding you through this? Because I know this is new for both of you, and it's an extremely exciting thing, especially for me. I'm from Orlando, born and raised. I actually played football at UCF, so I know the needs for a new stadium. They got a stadium out there. I wish I would have had it when I was here. But can you talk a little bit about the passion that's in those countries and how that's going to translate once we finally have our own team in that kind of league?
I think you see the beginnings of that, Sean, in our stadium today. If you go to a game of Orlando City, you'll see the passion of the fans. You'll see the commitment of the fans. You'll see the excitement of the fans for the product we have on the field and for the love of the team. It's there today. It's been there for 3 years. It's building every year on year. We're up 19% this year over last year in terms of attendance. We're averaging nearly 8,000 a game. That's the highest attendance outside Major League Soccer. So the excitement and the passion is already here. What Major League Soccer will do, it will ignite that. It will take it to a different level. We talked about a 200% increase when you go from the minor leagues to the major leagues. That's what we're looking to tap into here, and to bring Orlando a second major league sports franchise is a huge opportunity for this community. And it's an opportunity we really mustn't miss. Flavio is absolutely right. There's a timing issue here. There's a window. And if we miss that window, then if we kick this down the road a year, then all we do is open the opportunity up to everybody else. And I don't want to be, as Flavio said, I don't want to be sitting here watching Miami play MLS on TV.
Of course.
That would hurt. That's our place.
Well, tomorrow night we have Orlando City's hosting Fluminense, which I'm very curious, since you're a Flamengo fan, who are you going to root for here? Because, I mean, you got Orlando City, you're a Flamengo guy, Fluminense and Flamengo are not really the best, so what are you looking at? And then also another follow-up question to that is, these type of games, obviously, I think we're going to have a really good turnout tomorrow night.
Yes.
Do you look at, trying to get more of those type of games, and will there be a return game to Rio to go down and play them as well?
Yes. So one of our goals in Brazil is that Orlando City becomes the second team in the heart of people in Brazil.
Sure.
This is one of the goals that we have. We will not be able to get Orlando City for the first team, but the second we are very happy for that.
Right.
And this game is going to be broadcast live in one of the major sport channels in Brazil nationally.
Wow. That's amazing.
This is massive. It is really massive.
Last question. Brazil right now is in the middle of the Confederations Cup, and I'm sure everybody has heard about, everybody's been chiding and criticizing Brazil because, oh my gosh, their form prior to the Confederations Cup has not been too good. It's always been my theory in business and in soccer or football that Brazilians kind of wait until the moment and then they kind of step up. Obviously, they've won the last two games, a combined 5-0. How do you think? Have you been watching the games? How do you think their form is, and what do you think their chances are for the not only the Confederations Cup, but the World Cup next year.
Have you watched the game?
Oh yeah.
Have you watched the 2 games before these, the friendly
France,
games?
yeah.
Have you seen some difference?
Yeah, they're starting to, you could tell the attack is back, they're starting to overlap and things are happening. Neymar is growing up right before our eyes. I mean, it really looks like they're starting to get their act together, and everybody's kind of trying to find a way to say, okay, their defense isn't ready, but I mean, as long as you're scoring goals, offense is the best defense.
Yeah, Brazilian team has always been criticized in the last World Cup.
Yeah.
So Felipe Scolari, which is the head coach, Brazilian head coach, he took he almost didn't qualify in the last when he was champion.
Right.
So he's very good in the short shot. He's very nice. He's very good, Felipe Scolari. I believe that Brazil is going to be champion in this Confederation Cup, and people will stop to criticize.
And they'll get rid of the bad memory of the Maracanazo in 1950. That was a bad memory for England too. That's when the U.S. won.
But Uruguay probably will not qualify for the next.
They don't look too good. They don't look too good yesterday. Yeah. Well, hey, thank you so much for your time. And again, I want to remind everybody with the Green and Yellow magazine that tomorrow night at 7:30, I believe is the game, right?
Yep.
I still think there's tickets available. Orlando City's playing Fluminense at the Fifth Third Bank Field here downtown, and we hope to see you there. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
All right.